Hi, I'm John Tschol, president of Service Quality Institute based in the United States, and I'd like to talk to you about how to create a service culture. You know, what I've seen over the last 45 years that I've been in the development of people business, and for the last 38 years focusing just on helping companies create a service culture, is that when we talk about creating a culture, we tend to think that there's one magic program we could use, and we can dip our employees in this magic program. And bingo, everybody is going to be perfect for the rest of their life. You know, most employees in companies tend to be young. So we think we're going to take this 22-year-old or 27-year-old and we're going to dip them and they're going to change all of their behaviors and attitudes and for life become perfect. Maybe the person's 40 or 55 or 60, okay? So if we're going to create a service culture, what I've noticed is that organizations tend to buy something and we get everybody all excited. Performance goes up, employees get excited. And after about 6 months, it tends to die. Now, I don't know if you've seen that in your organization. And then what we do is we wait at least 5 years because you don't want to rush into this stuff because we know that this one magic program, maybe it was 8 hours of training, okay, is going to change the life of this person. And so we wait 5 years, and then we buy another program, maybe from a different company, a different organization, and usually after about 6 months, it tends to die. And then we wait another 5 years or so, and then we buy something new again, because you don't want to rush into this stuff. And then after about 6 months, it tends to die. We call this training. And this is what most organizations do, and that's maybe why customer service is pretty weak around the world. So at Service Quality Institute, what we're trying to do is to help companies create a service culture. Now, in order to create a service culture, I believe that you got to have something new constantly. And as soon as you stop, it tends to die. So the key here is it's got to be new, it better be different, and it better be fresh. And it better be at least every 4 months. So the concept that we're going to graduate from college, because we took one course, one class of 4 hours, and we're done. We are now going to get our MBA, or we're going to become a doctor or a nurse because we took a 4-hour course, or maybe even 8 hours, okay? It's crazy. So if our goal is to change the culture, to get everybody customer driven, you got to have new stuff, fresh stuff constantly. If you put Charlie through the same stupid program, he falls asleep the second time through. In the number one cost of development of people is not our materials. It's strictly labor time. So if the switch is off because the material you use is poorly packaged, poorly designed, or it's the same stupid program you did the first time, the employee goes to sleep, you wasted all your money, okay? And then another problem that we have is their employee turnover is pretty aggressive. So I think in most organizations, employee turnover is probably 25%. Now, in some organizations, it's 90%. In some, it's only 10%. What I find is that most people are pretty embarrassed about the employee turnover. And employee turnover is if you got 1,000 employees and you lose 250 employees a year, that's a 25% employee turnover rate. So in order to create this service culture, what I believe is that we got to have something fresh and new, as I said, every 4 months. And so sometimes companies start off with a John Tschol seminar. If you're a large organization, that's a viable option. I do major service strategy seminars where I take the whole leadership team, the top 100, 200, 300 people, and I get them to be passionate about the customer experience. I help them understand financially why you got to drive the service culture. See, I think one of the reasons that most companies are not service-driven is that the top leadership team does not understand the financial impact. They don't understand how you can increase market share, market dominance, how you can dramatically increase sales. That's the power of the service strategy. And then the second part of it is the only marketing tool you could use, that you could sit down with all your competitors, tell them what you're going to do, how much money you're going to spend on it, why you are going to do it, and what you expect the results to do. And 100% of your customers will think you went crazy, and they'll never copy it. That's the power of the service strategy. So we have another program we have called Leading Empowered Teams. And this is a 2-day seminar for supervisors and managers. So again, let's say you had a company of 200 employees. You probably have at least 10, possibly 25 people in management, leadership, supervisory positions. If they don't know that they're in the customer service business, maybe they think they're a bank, they're a retailer, they're a government organization, it's important to change the paradigm so that they understand they're in customer service. Then we do 4 things with leading empowered teams. One is that we get them to identify all the stupid stuff you do that turns off customers. And because we love policies and rules and procedures, and some of them really hurt us. Number 2, we focus on how do we coach employees for higher performance. So if we have 200 employees or 2,000 employees, how do we get the supervisor and the manager to pat the employee on the back, to let them know how important they are, to push them to a higher level? I think that many managers and supervisors believe that the only reason people work is because of money. And that if you just paid people more money, they'd work harder, and that's all you really need to do. Well, if you doubled the salary of every employee in your company right now, performance would not go up 1%, and in about 30 days you'd be out of business. So we use a different technique, which is coaching. How do I motivate people? And then the third element of leading empowered teams is empowerment. How do we force employees to make fast decisions on empowerment in favor of the customer? How do we teach them to bend the rules, to break the rules if needed, to take care of a customer to the customer's satisfaction? What we tend not to do is teach principles. Instead, we teach policies and rules and procedures. If our focus is to become rich, to rapidly grow the business, to become a service leader, you got to get your employees to master empowerment on the spot. And my definition of empowerment is I want the employee to do whatever they got to do on the spot to take care of a customer to the customer's satisfaction. And the fourth element is that we focus on teamwork. How do we get to work as a team? So the reason we do that, let's say you got 500 employees and you got 100 managers and leaders and supervisors, and the employees all of a sudden do an incredible job. The customer experience rapidly grows, and the supervisor says, well, it's about time he did what he's supposed to do. No recognition, no positive feedback. Eventually the employees say, screw this stuff, management doesn't care. Then we have the most magic program I have, which is called Feelings. In Feelings, we have 5 versions of Feelings. We have one for professional office environments. We have one for retail service. We have one for supermarkets. We have one for higher education. And we have one for healthcare. Feelings is implemented in 3 sessions spaced 1 week apart of about 3 to 4 hours each. And Feelings is really powerful at changing attitudes and behavior and teaching the fundamentals of customer service. Maybe one of the reasons it's been so successful is that it works on the self-image and self-esteem. It builds people from within. It gets people to feel good about themselves. Most employees think they get a better deal out of Feelings than the organization. And Feelings was implemented in January of 1980. I developed it in 1979 before most of the viewers of this video were born. Now it's been updated many, many times, so it's not, a video from 30 years ago or 40 years ago, but it's really powerful stuff. And everywhere in the world, millions and millions of people have gone through Feelings, and it absolutely works. By the way, on all of our programs, we have a money-back guarantee. That means that if you had a company of 300 employees and you put everybody through Feelings, And if a year later, 2 years later, 4 years later, you said, you know, it didn't work, it sucks, is all you got to do is return all the materials and we'll give you your money back. We have the strongest money back guarantee in the world. Now, I got to warn you, in 45 years, we've had only 2 returns totaling under $800. One was in 1980 or 81 for a dentist for about $120, and one was a car dealership in 1990 for about $600-700. That's it. The stuff works, okay? So let's say you go through feelings. You know, our goal is to create a service culture. So what? I mean, I don't care if you got the best professor, the best course you've ever attended in class, in college, so what? You can't graduate with one course. So if you want high-performing, customer-driven people, then we have to have something new and fresh. And so we have another program called Empowerment, a Way of Life. And this is a 2-session program designed to teach everybody how to make very fast decisions in favor of the customer, how to bend the rules. Trying to get an employee to make an empowered decision for even $5 typically takes 2 miracles at one time. Empowerment is a 2-session program spaced 1 week apart. And ideally, the sessions, if you're in the U.S. or a developing market, it's 3 to 4 hours or 2 to 3 hours. And all of our programs have a facilitator guide, which is designed so people internally can do the facilitation, a couple DVDs with Empowerment, a Way of Life, and beautiful participant materials. So without empowerment, you'll never be a service leader. But here's the problem. So let's say you go through feelings, you go through empowerment, what way of life, so what? I mean, you really think you're going to take, let's say, a 27-year-old, and because he went through 2 magic programs from Service Quality Institute, he or she is now going to become perfect? It's impossible, okay? We have habits, okay? So we have to have something new. So we have another program called Remember Me. And Remember Me is designed to get employees to remember the customer and to use their name. Think of all the times you go to your bank, a dry cleaner, the supermarket, a gas station, all the places that you visit during a week. How often does the employee say, Mr. Tschol, how are you today? Or John, hi. People don't care about your name. Now, I tend to believe that if we're looking at the highest element of customer service, to use the customer's name repetitively, to remember the customer's name, is pure magic. So Remember Me teaches people why you have to use the customer's name, how to remember the customer's name, and it teaches you the etiquette of how to do that. So let's say you went through Remember Me. So what? Okay, so what's next? So we have a cost reduction campaign called BAD. It's a 30-day campaign. It gets everybody to look for a way to save just $1 a day. Not a peso, not a ruble, but just $1 a day, okay? And everybody understands the value of $1. There's about 250 working days in a year, so if you had 1,000 employees and everybody saved $1 a day, that's $250,000. If you went to the tallest building in your country and you took $250,000 US and you threw it out into the wind, that's what most companies do every year. Okay? So one of the strengths of service leaders is they're frugal and they pass the savings on to the customer, which gives them increased market share. So it's a very fast 30-day campaign. It's motivational. It's inspirational. There's no training time involved in it. And we guarantee that the savings exceed the investment or we refund the difference. And by the way, we've never had to refund the difference because the waste in companies is incredible. So again, every 4 months we want something new. So we have another program called Speed. And as I talk about these programs, you can go in any order you want. We're the only company in the world that has this technology where you have this in-depth suite of programs and you can choose and pick which program you want to go first and second and third and fourth. So Speed is a 2-session program implemented in 2 sessions of 2 to 3 hours each if you're in the U.S. or a developed country, or 3 to 4 hours each in a developing country. And it teaches people how to dramatically improve speed. We have 2 problems with speed. First, the mindset of all employees in the world is slow. And then secondly, we have policies and procedures and systems in place that are designed to decrease speed. Okay? So speed gets you to change mindsets, it drives empowerment, and it gets you to take a look at the policies and systems that you have to change in order to dramatically improve speed. Speed to me means, how do you shrink the time by 90%? So if it normally took you 10 days to do a loan, how do you get it in 1 day? If it takes you 14 days to do something, how do you get it done in 8 hours? That's what I call speed. And then, again, let's say you go through speed, what's the next step? So we have a program called Loyal for Life. And Loyal for Life is on service recovery. When you screw up, how do you save your rear end? How do you take a customer from hell to heaven in 60 seconds or less? I don't care how good we are. We make mistakes every day. My experience is that employees lie and they run for cover. So we teach 4 skills in Loyal for Life. 1 is act quickly. 2, take responsibility. 3, be empowered. And 4, compensate. So how do I flip that customer who's maybe swearing at me, really upset, telling me they're never, ever going to do business with my company again? And how do I get that employee to flip that customer so in 60 seconds they believe they're dealing with the greatest company in the entire world? That's what service recovery and Loyal for Life is. Then we have another program that you could use, and that program is called Handling Irate Customers. Every day, because bad things happen, some customers blow up on you. They get really upset. Sometimes I explode on customers. I find that sometimes people cry. Sometimes they fight back. Their ego gets hooked. And, they just hang up on you, or they just say, get out of here. If your goal is to keep customers, to grow your business, you have to teach employees how to handle irate customers. When I originally designed Feelings in 1979, and we do have somewhat handling irate customers in that program, the number one goal for the participants was, how am I going to handle irate customers? Because it ruins my day. So this is an in-depth program, 2 sessions, implemented in 2 to 3 hours, or in developing countries, 3 to 4 hours, spaced 1 week apart. And it's powerful. Again, we always use a facilitator guide, we use participant materials, we use some video. So let's say you went through handling irate customers. So what? How are you going to keep those momentum going? See, you can't put Charlie or Maria back through the same program, because it's got to be fresh and it's got to be different. So we have another program called Moving Up. And Moving Up gets people to believe in themselves. The purpose of Moving Up is to get people to want to be indispensable, to be extraordinary. Visualize if you had 400 employees and every single person wanted to become indispensable and extraordinary. I mean, you could slay the dragon. You could accomplish anything. Now, the reason I created Moving Up is I'm developing people. I believe that the obstacle that we face is the employee says, you don't quite understand. I'm just the janitor. I'm just a security guard. I'm just a receptionist. So most people have a ceiling of cement, 6 feet, 8 feet deep over their head. The goal is to remove those limitations, to get your employees to want more, to make more money, to want to make more money, to get promoted, to move up in your organization. And if you can do that, you'll be on a rocket ship going to the moon. And then we have another program called Exceptional Service. An Exceptional Service is a 1-session program implemented in 1 session of 3 to 4 hours each, designed to get employees to understand, how do you deliver exceptional service? Some people like just a 1-session program of 3 to 4 hours. That's easy to implement, beautiful material. Again, what would happen if every single person was focusing on exceptional service? And then we have another program called the Good Idea Campaign, which is a 30-day campaign designed to get people to look for ideas that can improve the customer experience, that can improve customer satisfaction. And again, it's a 30-day campaign. There's no money, there's no prizes. It's all based on recognition and fun, and it's really a cool campaign that can get thousands of people to come up with ideas on how to improve quality and customer satisfaction. And then we have another program called the Service First Video Library. And Service First is 12 different DVDs, 12 sessions. It could be implemented in a 2-day seminar. It could be implemented once a week for 12 weeks for 1 hour. It could be implemented once a month for 12 months. You get 12 different DVDs or one flash drive. Everything's available also on a flash drive. And then you download off the internet the participant material, the facilitator material, the PowerPoint presentation, so there's no recurring costs. So it's a beautiful program. And in order to create the video library, we stole material from every program that we have, and we built it in to the Service First Video Library. And then we have one more program called Coaching for Success. And as you can see, I'm running out of room over here. And this is for managers, department heads, and supervisors. It's a 1-day seminar implemented with 2 videos, a facilitator guide, awesome participant material. And it's for every supervisor and manager. And it focuses on how do we use recognition to motivate people for higher levels of performance. I have a belief that most managers and supervisors are very weak at giving their employees recognition to make them feel appreciated, wanted, valued, and loved. Okay? So it's beautiful material. And then 25% of Coaching for Success is on terminating people that are dead. See, as we go through this service culture plan, let me tell you a fact of life. Not everybody is going to respond to the message. There's going to be some people that are working for you that don't like themselves, they don't like your company, and they don't like customers. And in most organizations, you got to be really, really creative to get fired. So if you do just enough to get by and you let everybody else do the work, you get to stay on. But some of these people destroy your business. And I'm assuming that in most organizations, 5 to 10% of their workforce are incompetent. That could easily be terminated. So as you're developing people, and we have all of the tools to measure behavior, so you can see the change. If it doesn't work, you need to be able to say to that employee, goodbye. And if you do that, you don't even need to replace them because they weren't doing anything anyhow. So that's part of Coaching for Success. So in order to work with Service Quality Institute, you could buy the buffet plan. You save 50% when you use the buffet plan. It's just a fee per year per person. You get up to 3 programs a year of your choice. Or you could just pick one program off the menu and just start with one program. And then when you're done with that program, you could, if you wanted to, go to another program. Our goal at Service Quality Institute is to help you create a service culture. All of my research shows that if you can do that, you will own the market. You will dramatically increase sales. That is our goal. Thank you very much. I'm John Tschol.